Shalom Aleichem, Mishpachim. Shavua Tov, everyone. I hope your Shabbat was beautiful and holy. All right, this is a new Tanya reading, a new day in the Tanya, a new reading in the Tanya. I believe we are beginning chapter 7. Yes, we are. Today is 4th of Tevet, month of Tevet. All right, let us begin the overview of chapter 7. Starting right here, the translucent husk, Klipas Noiga, includes all that is neutral in the world, not exclusively godly, but also not evil. These objects, energies, and phenomena can either be elevated to Kedusha, to holiness, by being utilized in service of God, or can be drawn down into evil, depending on the intention of the person engaging them. In today's lesson, when one does something, eating or even making humorous remarks, in order to study Torah better or to perform a mitzvah, he is extracting the good found in everything which is neutral in the world and elevating it to Kedusha, holiness. Chapter 7, Tanya. However, unlike the life forms mentioned at the conclusion of chapter 6, which are derived from the three holy unclean klipot, the following life forms are derived from Klipat Noiga, the vitalizing animal soul in the Jew, which is derived from the side of Klippa, and which clothes itself in the human being's blood, providing him with physical life as stated above. And the soul of the animals, beasts, birds, and fish, which are pure according to the laws of the Torah, and are thus permitted for Jewish consumption, as also the existence and vitality of everything in the inanimate and the vegetables in the vegetable world that is permissible for consumption. So too the existence and vitality of every act, utterance, and thought in mundane matters that contain no forbidden aspect, being neither root nor branch of the 365 prohibitive precepts and their offshoots, prohibited either on the explicit authority of the Torah or by rabbinic enactment. All right. Yet, when these permitted thoughts, utterances, or acts are not performed for the sake of heaven, as they ought to be, a Jew's actions, words, and thoughts should be directed toward the service of God. For example, in eating, one's intention should be that the food supply strength for study prayer, or performing other commandments. He should conduct his business with the intention of providing for his family, educating his children in the path of Torah and mitzvot, and giving charity, etc. But when his deeds, words, and thoughts do not serve this purpose, instead, they serve only the will, desire, and lust of the body, and even where it is a need of the body and necessary for its very preservation and life, such as eating, which the body requires for its very existence, and without which it cannot possibly live. Thus the act itself cannot be faulted, but the fault lies in that his intention is not for the sake of heaven, to utilize his body as an instrument in the service of God. If this spiritual intent is absent, then all these acts, utterances, and thoughts are no better than the vitalizing animal soul itself. And everything in this totality of things, the soul, with its actions, utterances, and thoughts, flows and is drawn from the second gradation of klipot and sitra achra, which is in the progressively ascending order of klipot, the fourth klipa, called klipat noiga, klipa that shines, for within this klipa there is yet found a ray of holiness. For in this world, called the world of Asiya, action, most indeed, almost all of the klipat noiga is evil, with only a little good intermingled within it. Klipat noiga is found in the higher worlds as well. However, the proportions of good and evil which comprise it vary from one world to the next. In Beria, klipa noiga is mostly good, possessing only a small measure of evil, which is separate from the good. Beria is the world of creation. In Yetzirah, the world of formation, it is composed equally of good and evil, while in the spiritual Asiya, the world of action, evil predominates. In our physical world, Klipat Noiga is almost totally evil, with only a minute representation of good and light. In our physical world is the world of Asiya, the world of action. From this minute amount of good within Klipat Noiga come the good qualities which are found in the animal soul of the Jew, as is explained above. As explained in the first chapter, the Jew's inherent qualities of compassion and benevolence stem from his animal soul. This is a soul of Klippa, Yet, because its origins are in the klipat noiga, which incorporates good as well, it gives rise to the good traits of compassion and benevolence. Since klipat noiga is a mixture of good and evil, any action, utterance, and thought emanating from this klipa can be utilized for good or evil. Indeed, as the Alter Rebbe will explain presently, the very same action, utterance, or thought may be holy, if done for the sake of heaven, or evil, if otherwise intended. Now, klipat noiga is an intermediate category between the three completely unclean klipot and the category and order of sanctity. Hence, it is sometimes absorbed within the three unclean klipot, as is explained in Eitz Chaim, Portal 49, Chapter 4, beginning, citing the Zohar, and at other times it is absorbed in and elevated to the category and level of sanctity. That is, it is absorbed within sanctity when the good that is intermingled in it is extracted and separated from the evil, prevails over it, and ascends to be absorbed in sanctity. For instance, if one eats fat beef and drinks spiced wine, not out of physical desire, but in order to broaden his mind for the service of God and for his Torah, as Rava said, wine and fragrance make my mind more receptive, or in order to fulfill the commandment to enjoy the Shabbat and the festivals. When one eats and drinks in the above-mentioned manner, then the vitality of the meat and the wine, which originated in klipat noiga, is then extracted from the evil and ascends to God like a burnt offering and sacrifice. The life force of klipat noiga that the food and drink contain is absorbed in sanctity. So too, concerning speech, the vitality of words spoken for a sacred purpose ascends and is absorbed in sanctity. For example, he who makes a humorous remark to sharpen his mind and make his heart rejoice in God and his Torah and service, which should be practiced joyfully, as Rava was wont to do with his pupils, prefacing his discourse with a humorous remark, whereupon the students became cheerful, and thereby more receptive and better able to understand the discourse. When a humorous remark is made with this intent, the vitality of the words which originates in klipat noiga is extracted from the evil of klipat noiga and is absorbed in sanctity. And the takeaway: your neutral activity, eating or drinking, can be good or bad. It is in your hands to decide whether you want to make it divine by using it to foster your relationship with God. And that is the Tanya reading for the 4th of Tevet. Have a wonderful night and Shavua Tov.